think we've written, Jane. It's really good. And it's like, this is literally, it's all of the things that happened. And the public, you guys, when you're standing there, you have to say openly that you're not vaccinated. First of all, I want you to remember that people took the vaccine to travel, and then saying I'm not vaccinated in front of everybody, or I'm getting pulled over, or I'm refusing the test. And here's the thing: is that the last time I came to the airport, they at least had me go into a room. The last time it was out in the open, and the I'm using air quotes here, the public health guy got so mad that he was screaming, and I was like, everybody can hear the guy. And I was pushing back on him, saying, I'm not giving you any information. I do not agree to what you're saying. And there's everyone looking at me, and it's
And
not.
what happened to Kate too? That everybody
Oh yes,
they clapped.
it was terrible. It was terrible. That was infuriating. So then I think we all know this part with this section that we're talking about the law. This is affirming that the charter did not get royal assent. Jane, maybe we should look at that resolution for the Supreme Court ruling for the charter after.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So then we go into what Jean-Yves' bad behavior. So Jean-Yves has acted ultra vires. His acts in his official capacity exceed lawful authority, failed to comply to principles of natural justice, procedural fairness, and other procedures that he is required to by law to observe. Based his order on erroneous finding of fact that it made in a perverse or capricious manner without regard for the facts. That's true. Failed to forward his order to the Clerk of Privy Council pursuant to Section 3(1) under the Statutory Instruments Act to ensure that it does not trespass unduly on existing rights and freedoms, and is not in any case inconsistent with the purpose of and provisions of the Canadian Bill of Rights. Failed to honor the supremacy of God and adhere to the principles of procedural fairness and natural justice when he violated the right to privacy and informed consent, and failed to either get a judicial decision or an act of Parliament as required pursuant to Section 2 of the Canadian Bill of Rights, which is a failure to comply to due process of law pursuant to Section 1A of the Canadian Bill of Rights. Created two classes of people with his discriminatory order, which is a failure to comply pursuant to Section 1B of the Canadian Bill of Rights. And then, of course, we talk about the law here, which is the Canadian Bill of Rights. We talk about tort of intrusion upon seclusion, and this tort law is relating to what is this one again? The right to personal privacy. We've got PIPEDA, the criminal code violations, and we scaled this back a little bit because, again, you're not all of the, there's a lot of decisions that can be had, but it's better to narrow things down. So for myself, I'm doing assault and public assault, which is where there's no consent. So assault doesn't mean that he hit me, but assault.
Attempted.
Guys, I'm sorry, I did deactivate the chat because this individual is saving the chat. And guys, until we can deal with this individual, we're gonna tighten up security a little bit, and we'll see how things go. And I'll just keep an eye on the old platforms because there's a few people and I know who they are, and I'm telling you, I'm good at finding things, right, Jane?
Yeah. Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg. Again, assault is not that somebody has hit you. It could be someone acting in a position of authority, and in this case, the assault is that.
Well, it's an attempted assault.
Attempted assault.
Because they're using the threats, and there's no to negate your consent, and the definition of assault is in that Unanchuk.
R versus Uwanchuk, 1999.
Yeah, Uwanchuk. Yeah. It says where there's no consent, it's assault.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, and then public incitement of hatred. Again, guys, like people get into violent fights over this stuff, and it's uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable when you have to stand. First of all, I don't even want to fight with anybody about this, and it's unbelievable that I have to. Secondly, like the one time when the airline asked me, and everyone was like, you know, they kind of looked at me like, what the hell? And then it's like, shit, now I've got to get on the plane with these people. And who's going to be, what if I'm sitting beside these people that just heard me say that and they're going to have a problem with it? Like, there's just a lot of anxiety that came with that. So again, these are the laws. There's the, I got to read Ronsorelli versus Duplessis, and iPad if you are here. Thank you. In January 1959, the Supreme Court of Canada ruled that a public officer can be held personally liable when acting in their official capacity and in excess of their lawful authority. I can do that for you now. Sorry. Every official from the Prime Minister down to a constable or collector of taxes is under the same. Now this is actually how it was in the case law, so we're leaving it, but it's supposed to be same responsibility for every act done without legal justification as any other citizen. The reports abound with cases in which officials have been brought before the courts and made in their personal capacity liable to punishment or to the payment of damages.
Okay, let me explain that. That's versus the government office or company that they're working for. That's personally responsible, meaning out of their pocket.
Yes.
And that's very important to make those arguments because see, they didn't like that.
Aw, we got one more. They're back.
They don't like that.
Aw, Ashley.
Personally responsible.
I'm sorry your feelings were hurt. Okay, so so I'll continue on here. So where was I here? Blah 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 blah. The reports abound with cases in which officials have been brought before the courts and made in their personal capacity liable to punishment or to the payment of damages for acts done in their official character, but in excess of their lawful authority. A colonel, governor, a secretary of state, a military officer, and all subordinates, though carrying out the commands of their official superiors, are as responsible for any act which the law does not authorize.
Oh, isn't that lovely?
Yeah, as is any private and unofficial person. So it sounds a whole lot like the Nuremberg trials, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I was just doing my job.
And Section 269 of the Criminal Code that Andre brought to us.
Right, and that was de facto laws, right?
Yeah, it's torture. And a lot of this would be considered torture, like removing somebody's job. That is torturous. People kill themselves. Like, it's not uncommon to hear that suicide is a result of losing people's jobs, plus the harm of loss of income. Right? They lose their house. They can't keep their paying their expenses, and that's torturous. And it says in there that it's not a defense for somebody to say, well, their superiors told them to do this. It says right in there, right in the criminal code. Don't be whining, my boss told me to do it. My boss told me to fire these people. That's torture, and they're going to get it because we're letting people know what legal rights they have.
Yeah. I'm just going to pull up 269 in the criminal code. There we go. Criminal Code of Canada. Oh, not you. Don't ever. I'm going to tell you guys something. Please, if you're looking up criminal code, do not go to sites like this because sometimes they're not updating in real time. Please always go directly to the Criminal Code of Canada on CanLII. Do not go to these sites that are offering up like excerpts of the criminal code. Do not do that. And I say that because I did. Okay. And if anyone is not familiar, guys, this little search tool here is Control F, and it's a handy little tool to have. And now when you're looking at case law or you're looking at legislation on like the CanLII or the government website or wherever, always go to the HTML version because then you can do these inline searches, which will make your life a whole lot better. Did you hear that, Kimberly? Okay, so torture. Every official or every person acting as the instigation of or with the consent or acquiescence of an official who insults, inflicts torture, or any other person is guilty of an indictable offense and liable to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 14 years. For the purpose of this act, official means a peace officer, police officer, a public officer, someone in office, like an MP or an MPP.
Oh, well, yeah. Also, that would be by law too, right?
Yeah, peace
And
officer.
public health
And public, yeah.
no,
Yeah.
yeah, public officer
Yeah. And,
would be, yeah, like by law and public health.
mm-hmm, yeah, exactly.
And no, customs I think is a peace
Yes,
officer.
they are.
Yeah.
So customs, public health, all of the characters in this little game that we're in right now. So the people in the House at the provincial level, federal level, the provincial level, the police, the bylaw, the customs, public health. Okay.
Yeah, all the players.
Yeah. And then it says a member of the Canadian Forces. They've actually been the least offensive. Any person who may exercise powers pursuant to a law in force in a foreign state that would, in Canada, be exercised by a person referred to in paragraph A, B, C. Okay, whether the person exercises power in Canada or outside of Canada. That's interesting. Torture means any act or omission by severe pain or suffering, whether physical or mental, is intentionally inflicted on a person. And guys, I mean, Jane, how many people do we know that couldn't see their loved ones when they passed? Or, they lost out on jobs, or it's just the things that have been done to people in the past 2 years is just incredible to even believe that this is happening. Okay, so torture means for a purpose including obtaining from the person or from a third person information or a statement. So basically, torturing someone, inflicting pain, suffering, whether physical or mental, for the purpose of obtaining information, punishing the person for an act that the person or third person has committed or is suspected of having committed, and intimidating or coercing the person or a third person, or for any reason based on discrimination of any kind, but does not include an act or omission arising only from, inherent or incidental to lawful sanctions. And then no defense. There is no defense to a charge in this section that the accused was ordered by a superior. Are you reading this? Are you hearing this? There is no defense to a charge under this section that the accused was ordered by a superior or public authority to perform the act or omission that forms the subject matter of the charge, or the act or omission is alleged to have been justified by exceptional circumstances, including a state of war, a threat of war, internal political instability, or any other public emergency. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to the NOL, but I just wanted you guys to see that. Okay, so then we go back, and now this is what's substantially different between the NOLs that Stand4Thee has produced and the NOLs that we've seen out in the world. It's the attempt to rectify the matter. Because at the end of the day here, this isn't about taking someone to court to get money. This is about getting them to stop the bullshit, to knock it off. And then, of course, if you did have financial losses, then this would be an effective tool. Oh, hold on one second here. Jane, are you here? No. I lost Jane 1 second. Okay, so this is where it's an attempt to rectify the matter. So you're going to say, hey, listen, for me, it's Jean-Yves. He's the guy that put forward the order. If you knock it off, if you cease and desist this order in council and within 5 days, then I'm going to drop this. And if you don't, I'm going to come after you for $35,000. And then we list. And see how we've broken this up? We've made it a little bit different, guys. And I hope you guys really like this format, because I really like this better than the previous version. I just feel like it's more concise, and it's just breaking it out. So, and again, this will change based on your situation, because I don't know, maybe you did have to pay a fine of $6,500, because I know some people they. I was reading on a Facebook page of the day. People were like, "I just took my ticket and threw it in the garbage," and I'm like, "Please do not do that. Please, or rescind. Please do not throw your tickets in the garbage. Yes, it's toilet paper, but you still have to take care of it. You got to flush it down the toilet, but the proper way. So do not write in, do not write back, do not flush it down the toilet without first putting it into the toilet chamber, which is, okay, the courts are not the toilet chamber, but it's going to go through the toilet chamber of the courts because it's going to get flushed down the toilets in the court. So flush it in the courtroom. That's going to flush it. Do not throw it out. Do not ignore it, because what's going to happen is they're going to go to renew their license and they're going to go, yeah, you owe $6,500. And there's interest on that too, isn't there? Or fees or something?
There's a little bit of fee. There's administrative fee.
Yeah, guys, I've never, like I said, I've had parking tickets. I've never even gotten a ticket in my adult life other than a parking ticket. Anyway, and here I am.
Could affect your license too.
Yeah. So, yes. So, hi, Nadine. Thank you. And I see you've gone to Montreal. I hope you like it there. I love Montreal. So take care of your tickets, submit them, request a date. Oh, we'll also talk. I'm going to finish this up. And then, Jane, let's also talk about the section 76 bracket 1 of the POA.
Okay.
The 6 months.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. Okay, so $5,000 for the legal injury regarding the loss of right to privacy, as per section 1A of the Canadian Bill of Rights. I just gotta move this. Zoom stuff gets in my way. Just give me a second. Sorry, guys. It was popping up. I wish I could just turn it off when I'm screen sharing. Maybe there is a way to do it, and I don't know how. $5,000 for violation of informed consent. Informed consent protected under section 1 of the Canadian Bill of Rights. $5,000 for the violation of the right to enjoy property under section 1A of the Canadian Bill of Rights. Violation of $5,000 for the violation of liberty by restricting travel within and out of Canada, section 1A of the Bill of Rights. $5,000 for legal injury regarding the discriminatory act of creating two classes of people and failing to provide equal protection of the law to both classes, contrary to section 1B of the Canadian Bill of Rights. $5,000.
My favorite piece of legislation.
Oh yeah, it's a.
Somebody said what's going on about the charter gives you those equal rights. Bullshit.
No.
Yeah, protected group. There's I'll look it up, but there's only 5 or 6. I know.
It basically mirrors the code.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so $5,000 incitement of hatred, contrary to 319 Criminal Code of Canada, and $5,000 for legal injury regarding attempted assault, contrary to 265 Criminal Code of Canada. Total of this liability claim is $35,000. As well, Rebecca may seek a court order in federal court. I fixed this already. Small claims court to remedy this function of the right to informed consent, the right to privacy, liberty, enjoyment of property, and criminal violations.
Yeah, do you want me to give the list?
Yes, please, so everyone is aware.
Section 15 of the Charter, that every individual regardless of race, have an objection to this, but the Bill of Rights gives them consideration, but it means also create any, which include vaxxed, unvaxxed, masked, unmasked, or any other category. It's completely broad. Like they can't create all tall people or all short people or all whatever. Like they're not allowed. But with the Charter, if you were discriminated against because you were too tall, and you try to make a claim because all tall people or whatever, no, doesn't. They'll just say sorry, not covered. Even men are not covered. You can say, oh, we're not going to hire men anymore. That's the end of it.
That's
Yeah, and the man can't do anything. There's not it with the bill. They can't. Class of people, and they're treating them differently. They have covered beautiful, strong, clear, comprehensive piece of legislation that and use to move this whole thing forward. And just one more thing I want to state is that when somebody's deciding to take this on to serve the notices of liability and the subsequent state claim, you need to really embrace what your rights are. So when they come back at you and try to negate your rights, you're going to have that reaction like, oh, you're not. These are my God-given, they're legally protected. So what they say is nonsense. And you can just regroup and keep, or, you don't have any claim here, whatever. And that's going to make you want to give in. You might as well not go forward. You have to really what's that word? Embrace, or whatever. You have to know deeply and passionately
enshrine.
Yourself. I mean, is what I'm saying. You have to know and believe and know that when you're born, you have human rights. The government didn't give you those human rights. You've got them by virtue of being born human. And in my perspective, they're God given. But even if you're not, you don't believe in God or whatever, you recognize rights, virtue of being born. So you have to get that entrenched in your spirit, and they will damn well be respected. And in God.
Yeah. Because what they use names of people in the group to keep coming back in. So I've done a couple of things. Number one, you can't save the chat because they've been saving the chats. Number two, you cannot change your name, and I apologize, guys. And if anybody wants themselves removed, then we can figure out perhaps a way to do that through the video. I don't know, but I'm really sorry about that, guys. I'm just trying to that we're having with these people.
Is my video?
No.
Well,
I don't know. I have my screen share on, so I can't. I only see a couple of things right now. I don't have the.
It's on, but this is my new machine, so I don't know if it's not that right or whatever.
I don't have the. I can't see people right now because I got the screen share up. Yeah. So I wanted so guys, this is wait till you see this. So there's a couple of things, okay, that we have to be aware of with procedural. There was government lawyers, okay? So here's the thing. What is we're not taking the government to court. We're taking government lawyers are going to protect the government employees. They can't protect people that work for the government. The person, Omar Algebra, Act Minister, Government of Canada. So it was a different approach. And it doesn't matter if you say, oh, crap, don't you, Jane. you go into a courtroom with a solid defense, it makes a mirror shitty. But if you go happy defense, you have to, each side is presenting their case, and the judge is going to look at the facts from each side and go, based on this information, I think this, like, this is beyond a reasonable doubt. This is what happened. Now, where it is a little more, maybe not a little, you use the, I'm trying to multitask. I'm not doing very well, but what expect a judge to have a science debate, because they decipher research papers or studies. And if you haven't done that before, how can it's just it's a matter of going in the right defense and using the right legislation to protect you. What we're seeing with the work that we've been doing is repeating the arguments that we've been sharing with them and getting on their own, like Kimberly killed it. Guess what's happening? They're not getting convictions. Their charges are being dismissed. Now, I wish they were getting rulings, but what would you rather have? A $6,500 ticket and you get found guilty, and then you have to deal with it or get dropped. And so simplicity is the key, exactly, 100%. We have to understand that the courts, people are always saying, oh, the courts are corrupt, you can't win. Well, that's not necessarily the case. If you go in using something like the charter, it's a high chance you're going to lose because you've already gone in there giving the judge an out. So I want to state that. Okay, so we're going to look at the provincial offense, look at a couple of key pieces of information in regards to procedure. One is, what is that? General, maybe interpretation. Where are we here? I got to look for, not torture. I don't look for service. Okay. Okay, so service. So there's two important things we're going to look at. We're going to look at service, and we're going to look at commencement of proceedings. Okay, so these are really important things to know when you have been charged with something. I know this is a little bit off topic, but this is really good information for everyone to know. And we've addressed the 30 days, but we're also going to address something else. So the offense notice or summons shall be served upon the person charged within 30 days after the alleged offense. So if you were ticketed on April 1st, 2022, an alleged, say for me, country, actually, I'll use my Ontario Act violation, alleged violation, where I had the charges of conviction, was that I was charged in January of, the alleged offense took place in 2021. I received my summons in February. I went to court in January of 2022. And when they wrote the ticket, they didn't identify my charges. So I used section 2C1 of the criminal within or in a prompt fashion. Past this is not criminal court, guys. This is provincial court. And I looked this up for BC. It's the same for BC. And you'll have to look it up for your province. But what we're finding is that all provinces are similar in their procedures. So just be aware of that. Now, the other thing we're going to look at is part 3, section 76, I think it is. 76, where are you? 76, bracket 1. This is part 4, general provisions. A proceeding shall, or is that part 5? Not up on my Roman numerals. A proceeding shall not be commenced after the expiration of any limitation period prescribed by or under any act for the offense, or where no limitation period is prescribed after 6 months of the date on which the offense was or is alleged to have been committed. So that's really cool. That means they only have 6 months to get your butt into court. So make note of that. Okay, I'm going to switch gears and go back to the notice of liability. This should be relatively quick because this is not this is a, that you're going to cite. So what I'll just show you guys. So I'm oh my god, city of Ottawa, court forms. That's probably the fastest way to do that. And you'll find formsottawa.ca. Oh, I went too far. POA forms. So you'll have to look around on the, oh, it's not POA. It's court forms. You'll have to look because these are, all the sites are different and you just have to dig around until you find it. So forms, applications, let's see if, nope. Okay, bear with me guys. I know these sites are also not that great and I don't want to do a survey, so get out of here. Oh gosh, my screen is blowing up right now. Give me a second here. Stupid survey. There's so many things. So because of the Zoom tool, okay, and everyone make note of this, which I'm sure you all have before. And then you can go into, if you scroll to find POA, and you go through this pane together because that is different because it's based on the city, and you just dig around until you find it. And like I was showing you, I think it was Mississauga, when I went to POA tickets, it took me to payment. That's the first place that I went. Okay, let's go to provincial fences. There's another meeting that ends at 9 o'clock into the meeting. So it's another busy time. Okay. And we were paying together, guys. Oh, I'm in the wrong thing. It's not there. It's the Ottawa court forms. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry about that, guys. You're going to go into small claims, and here are the forms. I forgot what I was doing, and what it would look like. This is where you court forms, and then it'll pull up a list of forms. And sometimes it's not easy to figure out what you need, but in this case, it's going to be a plaintiff's claim. And if you have any issues finding one, just let us know. So this is what mine looks like. I've completed mine with, of course, fake information. And the defendant in this case, it's and then you copy and paste essentially what you have in your NOL. So that's what you're going to do here. It's nothing fancy. And then there's the affidavit, which again you're going to copy and paste. This again, you're just going to fill out the information as it's stated. And here, the statement of facts. Oh, we got that twice because we copied and pasted directly from the NOL. So you're going to take your statement of facts and just plunk it right in here, and that's it. So drive so you can see what's in here. Left the sample claims package here so you guys can have a look at that if you maybe need an idea or whatever. We've got the instructions that, and this has links in it as well. So we've got the interim orders, the ordering council, all of that stuff is in here. Then you've got the NOLs. There's 3 NOLs. There's going to be a third one, which is trains, which I just didn't get time to do it. To the mix. So now I put in the mix. And oh, you know what? I think I forgot to do. Where are we here? So you want, make sure that you put your contact information in here, guys. I'm just going to put this into the other NOL. Depends on how you, oh, Jane keeps dropping. If you're going to serve it via email, then they'll have your email. But if you're going to serve it through fax service, you might want to add contact information as much as you, just enough that they can contact you. Tara, do you have a question? You can just put it in the chat. And I'm sorry, I haven't been watching the chat as much as I should. Okay. Statement of debt is it's going to be a statement of debt is basically an invoice. And that is here. So then you're going to take, so the only thing that's going to go in here, you're going to take this, all of like the amounts, the different charges, and then you're going to put it, or sorry, the fees that you're going to go after them for, like the rights violations and the criminal codes, and you're going to put that in the statement of claim. And you want, so in Ontario, it's a maximum of $35,000. And then different provinces are different amounts, like Manitoba, I think is only $25,000, $15,000. Alberta is $50,000. So it does vary from province to province. Ideally, we'd like everyone to put them through Ontario courts. Jane can also do affidavits for them, so that's a solution. And if not, if you want to serve it in your province, you can, but there you go. And then, of course, we have again that the supplementary information, which is the Bill of Rights, the interim orders, the Friday night Zoom, all of that information, and all of that's coming from the homepage from Stand4Thee. Okay, I'm going to stop screen share. Oh no, I'm not, because we're going to look at something else.
Before we go to the questions, can we find some time for Bridget to read the letter that they got from the employer, from the lawyer? Mm-hmm. From there, yeah.
Next thing we're going to talk about. Yeah,
that's revealing. And hopefully people can chime in on how they would react to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what's going on here? Rebecca, how do we get to the resource page with samples, or is that listed? Do you mean what we just covered? Because that's on the home page. When you go to the landing page, you'll see a link. Well, they will. Sorry, my brain is crapping out on me. There's a section there. There's in that folder. There's a sample. So we're gonna show you guys something else that we have cooking up. Let me just pull it up for you guys. Okay. So guys, this is what we're working on for Canada Day. And maybe if some of you saw it in the email that went out, and maybe some of you didn't. I'm going to show you. Are you ready? Oh, there's all kinds of stuff open here. Don't mind me. Okay. Trudeau for treason, guys. Wanted.
Oh, yeah.
For committing treason by illegally invoking the Emergencies Act, facing life imprisonment. Here we go.
Nice.
And I hope that you guys can appreciate this face, because that sums it all up. So guys, when we when we go to Canada, when we go to Ottawa on Canada Day, we're going to be kicking off. I hope you guys like that. We're going to be kicking off this hashtag Trudeau for Treason. We have a team who's helping us put together a package that's going to what we're doing is we're digging through the evidence leading up to the declaration of the Emergencies Act. Then we're going to be working through the evidence that they used to declare the Emergencies Act, and we're seeing that now in the Senate. And then collecting witness statements and victim statements, and then putting together the legal provisions. So think of it as a really big, intense notice of liability.
Or a posse. A posse. You know what a posse is?
Yes. Yes. Tara, are you having issues?
Come out with your hands
Tara,
up.
Yeah, Tara, are you having issues because you there's seems to be some challenges over there. Can we help you with something, Tara? Do you want to identify yourself, Tara, and ask your question? Because it seems like you've got some questions you'd like to ask. Be happy to answer them. No, Tara? Okay, cool. You let us know if you have questions, okay, Tara? Thanks. Okay, so that was really all we're going to cover tonight. I would like to hear what Bridget has going on as well. And no, Tara, we're not hanging anybody, and you're leaving now. Okay. It's been a pleasure. We do not tolerate that. Goodbye. No. Yeah. I was just waiting for her to do it, or whoever she is. I'm going to make it clear to everybody because now I feel obligated to do that. That's why I was just waiting. She couldn't help it, could she? And this is why I had to turn off the name change, guys, because she could come back with a new name, and now she can't do that. No, I know it wasn't you, Tara. I know that. Trust me, I know. She's gone now. So I want to be very clear here that they would serve no purpose in inciting any amount of violence at any level, at any capacity. As a matter of fact, that's what they want us to do. And I'm just not a violent person regardless. It wouldn't matter what it is. That's never a proper way to respond to anything. And I always have the mindset of he who throws the first stone loses. So this is not the time to lose our cool.
And in Canada, we don't hang people. And the reason for that is when they did hang people back in the day, they realized at some point that they had hanged people that were actually innocent. And it was like, oops, I guess we better not be hanging people. Because if you make a mistake, you can't reverse it. If you put somebody in jail for a long period of time and then find out they're innocent, you can compensate them. Not maybe make them like, like truly repair the damage done, but you can make some amends and some compensation. But if they're dead, you're done. Mm-hmm. So we don't hang people in Canada, and these people that are going around saying Trudeau for treason, hang them by the neck, are doing a great disservice to actually getting some accountability happening, because we're serious. We want him put in jail. Yes. We're not being silly. We're not being dramatic. We believe that he meets the actual conditions to have a charge of treason placed against him. And there's enough evidence to convict him, which would place him in prison for the rest of his life. And we're very serious. So these idiots going around, let's hang them, just completely discredits what we're doing. And it also you could even get in trouble for shit like that. If you're promoting that, you're promoting violence, and it's like not kosher. It's got two elements that are derogatory to getting some success here.
That's right. And it's I'm also going to say this whole thing with Marcus Ray that you guys may be seeing there, just ignore it, you guys, because you know what I smell? Control op, making a distraction. Yeah. And we just put those distractions away. Just don't entertain it. And I keep seeing it on the channels and everyone's freaking out. Whoever these people are, when they come out of nowhere and all of a sudden they're in the limelight and they've got thousands and tens of thousands of followers, you got to ask yourself how. You got to ask yourself where these people are coming from.
Yeah.
So please just let's not get caught up with this stuff because it's a big distraction and we have work to do. And anybody who's espousing any type of violence in any capacity is not welcome in Stand for Thee.
No.
I'm going to make that very clear. So I had to say that because of what that person said. And I think you can see by my face, I'm a little stressed right now. Okay. All right. Let's get to it because Bridget's got something fun to share with us. Bridget, hello. You're muted,
There.
Bridget.
I'm sorry, there a minute ago.
Oh, well, she's right there. I see her. I see her. Yeah. Well, Chris Guy, you know what's interesting is that he was on a flyer with Marcus Ray just like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So it's just a game, you guys. Bridget, are you there? You just need to unmute yourself.
Sorry, I'm here. I was just
Hi,
everyone. How is everyone doing?
Good.
Good.
I was just trying to get it on because I'm on the computer. Just give me 1 second. Okay. So here we go, guys. We filed a claim in small claims court against our managers. It's 4 of us actually who did that. So today we got an email back from his lawyers, which he have 3 lawyers stated on it. Excuse my accent.
Beautiful.
And it says we are the lawyers for Michael whatever and his employer Trillium Health Partners. We have received your claim bearing claim file number. They give us the file number. The claims relates to issues arising from the employer-employee relationship, which are subject to an arbitration clause pursuant to the collective agreement between your union and your employer. We understand that you have in fact filed a grievance relating to the same subject matter.
Okay.
Then it goes further. The claim names only his name personally, despite making no allegations against him in his personal capacity.
You got it. Okay. Because you did it personal capacity, it's not in the collective agreement.
Oh yeah.
Woo-hoo!
Yeah.
There you go.
So it goes, not only have you not articulated the claim against his name, but there could be no claim against him personally, as he was at the material time operating in his capacity as a manager at the hospital.
Ron Sorelli versus Duplessis.
There you go. That was just going to say that.
Based on the foregoing, therefore.
Oh, and also I told them to use Section 269, torture.
Should we help Bridget craft a response, or what should we?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they need to see Ron Sorelli versus Duplessis.
Yeah, and Section 269, because like taking somebody's job away, that's torturous.
Okay, so it says, based on the foregoing, there is no reasonable chance of success on that basis.
No, they're wrong. They're wrong. If this is confirmation of the way we've decided to go, because we've always said low hanging fruit, if they're stepping up and getting in your face, telling you have to get a vax or you're out the door, they're personally responsible for their own friggin' behavior, not the company, them. And the company is in the collective agreement, not them, not as a private person. He's stepping out of his bounds too. Like he's even acting beyond the provisions, because the provisions, there's no provision for leave without pay. And there's no provision for firing for not getting a medical treatment, for Christ's sake. So you got him. You got him. If you did the private man, he's done.
So it goes on to say, as much as the claim is not properly before this court, and it may be struck out for lack of, I'm on my phone. It may be struck out for lack of jurisdiction. At this time, we are prepared to agree to, without cost,
Oh, big
discontinue.
whoop-de-deal. Like the cost would be negligible. It'd be like $100.
Oh
Mhm.
boy.
Woo!
Okay, now I have to make another public service announcement.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm just removing, hold on 1 second here. I gotta remove,
Actually, we should.
I'm removing Ahmed for making a comment about aligning with white power.
Okay.
So you see, they've been reduced to the chat box now. So I
Yeah.
got to make a public service announcement that clearly we are not a racist group and we
Yeah.
don't support white supramacy or racism of any kind.
I know.
Continue on, Bridget. We have to clear the air
And
here.
it says, it goes on to say, if you are agreeable, this means that you would be agreeing that Mr. Whatever would be released from the action, and he would not seek cost against you for any cost incurred to the date.
You know what?
And
Small
then-
claims court. So suck because it's because there's only $100. Like Superior Court, it'd be like 3,000 or more, right? Like for the same dynamic, the exact same dynamic. Like they're threatening to take a motion to have your case dismissed. So there's a bit of a threat there. Right? If you lose, you're going to owe me some money. Well, if you lose, you're going to owe me $100. That's $100 maximum. Like they could only. I've seen the court say 50 for a motion. Like there's your cost, $50 or $100. It's capped at 500. Like not for one thing. Like for like many different. Like if you had 2 or 3 motions through the whole course of a process, the it's capped at about 500. It's really low.
I love it when these lawyers respond because they have nothing.
So let me do the rest. If we do not receive a response by June 21st, 2022, we have instructions to bring a motion to have your claim struck for lack of jurisdiction, in which case our client will be seeking cost.
Yeah, $100.
Because the court does not have the jurisdiction to hear this claim. We will not be serving and filing a defense on behalf of Mr. If we must bring a motion to have your claim dismissed. We anticipate delivering our motion record on or by July 27, 2022.
That's within their 20 days? Is that within their 20 days?
Yes.
Okay.
Should you have any question, please do not hesitate to contact our office.
Yeah. Well, I would start off with this is he's personally stepped up to be acting in a way beyond the collective agreement. It was injurious, torturous, and unlawful. So shut up.
Yeah, you've done good. Somebody made
and they're trying to scare you $100. Are you scared?
No,
Are you scared?
no. But listen, oh, no way we're going to go for that. No way, no way. Don't even bother.
Yes.
one big nothing burger. One big nothing burger.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
For that low
He's got four
Yeah.
on his hands, Rebecca.
And we could just tell him, didn't you know that the Nazis tried that defense and it didn't work?
Yeah, exactly. Well
Thank
done,
you.
Bridget. So we'll help you write a stellar response. The lawyers will appreciate it. You'll actually probably educate them on some new case law.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, we'll be in
Thank
touch.
you.
Thank you for sharing.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye. All right.
That was
Chris,
enjoyable.
that was, she's
Yeah.
loving it. And
Don't
that's,
forget, Scott got one of those almost the exact same letter. Remember? How dare
yes,
you? And he's not reliable and blah 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 blah. And
yeah.
he stuck and he I think you wrote him back and said like bring it on. And then
Yeah, is
all of a
Scott
sudden
here?
they withdrew it. They withdrew the
No. Oh shoot. You know what? I forgot about Mike J probably had to jump off. I should have got him to speak because Mike J, I'll see if he can come on next week because I'm just going to take a quick second, guys. So, we're supporting people with hashtag Take Back Your City. And again, I'm going to I'm just going to state it again. If anybody here who is interested in going after a trustee, school trustee, or city council, let us know. Send us an email with maybe a headshot, a bio, and your elevator pitch. We're happy to share it in the Stand4Thee email. We're happy to have you come on and let us know what you got going on because I really see a lot of power and a lot of opportunity at City Hall.
yeah
And these school trustees need to get booted. These people are
yeah
disgusting.
yeah.
Yeah. Kat, let us know. And yes, it was an NOL that Bridget served to
No,
her
they actually
direct
filed.
boss. And then
They
he's like,
actually
oh,
filed
shit.
statement of claim in court all
Oh,
the
she
way.
went all the way.
Four
You
of them.
see?
Four of
Exactly.
them. That's why they're
That's right. Sorry. That's
so
right.
nervous.
Yes.
And they do have grounds. Because there's no
Updates
fucking
on what
such
happens
thing
with
as leave without pay. Crazy.
Bridget, because this is what we'll need to see. And Scott, too, guys. Scott, in Ottawa, the father who was pushing back on the Ottawa Carleton District School Board for enforcing the mask mandate, he submitted an NOL to the trustee, and then he submitted the invoice, and then they called uncle,
Yeah,
and the mask.
got a letter off this one.
Yep. You can't do that. And he went, yeah, thanks, yes, I can.
Yeah.
And then
3 days later, they withdrew it. They withdrew the mask mandate, and it was only in place for a few weeks. It's not like it ran its course or something. Yeah.
This is my, how Pierre Polivier is like, answer the question, answer the question.
Yeah.
Well, here's my question for Pierre. Are you part of the World Economic Forum?
Yeah.
Answer the question, Pierre.
Yeah.
Answer the question.
I know. Eh? Yeah. And how
Okay.
did you vote? How did you vote on extending the vax passport for travel? How did you vote on that, Pierre?
Where was he with the Emergencies
Yeah.
Act? Where was he?
Not even talking
And
about
then-
it. Not even talking about it.
And
he
Jane.
he refrained from. He was there, and he refrained from voting on the travel.
Yep. And he did a video on the Bill of Rights saying how great it was.
Yeah.
And then he's passing a bill to end what do you call that? Censorship. It's called the Bill of Rights, bud. You did a video on it.
He also wanted to say that no more dismissing for vax pass, I think, something like that. And like that's the same thing. We already have a piece of legislation that prohibits that, which is the Bill of Rights. Because he's talking like it's for the federal government. He said like it's some kind of bill that he passed, like no more vax passport mandates.
Thank you, Ian. Pierre Polivier's campaign advisor is on. John Baird is on.
John Baird is the biggest pig that ever walked the face of the freaking earth.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
and
bad,
I'm gonna
cold son of a bitch, and he's been around. He was in Ottawa.
Yes, and I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, guys. We're just telling you the truth here. Pierre's campaign advisor is on the World Economic Forum site, and he's connected with individuals on the World Economic Forum. And if you go back and look in the Wayback Machine, you'll see he was on the World Economic Forum. Okay.
And John Baird's been a player forever, like New World Order shit. He's pushed all the stupid agendas that have been going on for all the years. He's very bad news. Very bad news.
Yeah, most of them are. Somebody asked about leave without pay. Here's case law called Kabiakman versus Industrial Alliance. If you click on that link, you'll read. They clearly define when a person can be put on leave without pay and the stipulations around it. And of course, your collective agreement, if you're in a union, your collective agreement is not going to have any provision for, no.
Leave without pay is initiated by the worker.
So Roman Baber, since I'm asked, I'll tell. I went to a meet and greet with Roman Baber last year. We're not friends. He was in denial about Agenda 2030, and he made two women so angry that they left.
Yeah.
And he got mad at me when I suggested that fixing the courts would be a jury, and that was the end of it. I killed the whole party. Wait, Agenda 2030, what's that? Yeah, he's a former lawyer, as a lot of politicians are. So, okay, Christina, hi. Take care, G. Have a good night. Christina Zudzovich. Zudovich. Did I get it right? Zudovich. Christina Zudovich. That's a tough one. Christina, are you there? You just need to unmute. Trust yourself, Bonita. That's who you trust. Trust yourself. That's my whole. I'm just not a fan of any politician. Or go for city council. They're not politicians. Okay, we'll come back to Christina. We'll go to Living Soul. In living color. I feel hyper. Oh, I had a coffee.
Oh, I'm the
Why do I
same
feel
way.
hyper?
I can't at night. I get wound right up. I
My-
think it's
so
an
my
Aries. I think it's an Aries because
I
we're
had
so
this-
friggin' hyper to begin with.
Yeah, I had this much coffee, okay? And I'm like, wee! Living Soul, hi. I saw that you unmuted, but I don't hear you. No, can't hear you. I don't hear you. Okay, we'll move on and we'll come back to you, okay? Sue, hi. Oh, wait, let's try Christina one more time. Christina Sudovich. I think I got it. Christina, are you there? Okay, we're going to move on. Sue, hi.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Oh, okay, good, thanks. I have drafted my NOL for work, and I have noticed some information not to, like, for example, I think one place you mentioned about the a section of a legislation. I think the section number was not correct because I went to every single link to check, and then I think there was a link that was not correct. Like, I spotted a lot of things, and I think I need your help to finalize it because my situation is different. I didn't.
These are templates.
Yeah.
These are templates. So you need to look at your situation, and then you're going to have to, you'll have to finesse it, and we're happy to help you with that.
I have a draft already, and I put all my questions like next to it with yellow highlights.
That's a good idea.
So can I email that to you?
I'm putting my email in the chat right now.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, that's all it will be a long one.
That's okay. That's okay. Send it through. And can you also in the email tell me what industry you worked in, if you're unionized? Give me some particulars because that'll help to understand your situation. And for example, a collective agreement is very important if you're working for government as opposed to, private sector, public sector, at what level, federal, provincial, municipal. So just give me some, you don't have to tell me where you worked, but just I worked as healthcare in this capacity. It was unionized, blah, blah, blah. And then that'll feed into the NOL.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I will do that.
Something I just remembered now. I don't know if I can find the freaking thing, but there's a case law that was related to an arbitration decision where a union rep discriminated against a worker, and the arbitrator found that the person was personally responsible. The company was okay. It was a union rep, a union guy that was in the union, discriminating against somebody that was a worker. Okay, so when it went through the arbitration, it didn't hold the company responsible. It held the individual responsible out of their pocket because he went beyond his authority and discriminated. He had no right or any whatever to to discriminate. So if I can find that case law, that's going to help. It'll go with that other one that you keep talking about. I forget the name of it.
There's also case law for there's case law for arbitration. Let me just pull it up. There's an arbitration ruling regarding privacy.
Okay, good.
Let me just grab that. It was healthcare. It was a long-term care arbitration ruling upholding Section 63 of OSHA.
You were happy with 63?
Mhm.
Oh, damn. I wish we had that for yesterday.
It's on Know Your
I didn't
Rights.
see it.
Yeah. So I just put it in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, Sue, so you've got,
Yeah, I will. Thanks.
okay, sounds good. Thank you. Living Soul, are you back up? No, can't hear you. Also, is Joy here? No, I don't know if she's here. I can't get it to work. Do you want to put it in the chat? We'll go on to the next question. You can put it in the chat. I can watch the chat. Yeah, leave and come back. No, Nadeem, I can see he's not there. Nadeem, run. I can see you in the window. Back. Nadeem, you're up.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure can.
Okay, so
Can you hear me?
I have so many things to ask,
Uh-huh.
but I'll focus on the one thing that you mentioned in the Facebook post. That is, you want to hear more from potential candidates for school trustees
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
counselors. I've considered this for the past 2 years. Okay.
Yeah.
And one thing that you mentioned was that being part of it party means you have to go to the party line. Is that right?
No parties,
Not-
municipals, no parties. You can't even have one if you wanted one. No parties.
Okay.
That's the
Yeah.
beauty of it.
So, and that's why I find counselors appealing. And but when I moved to Montreal, I found out that Montreal is the only place where, for some reason, the mayor here has a party. So you're allowed to run as a
interesting.
party here, and there's a bit of a resistance here. That's silent. That's silent
And
about this.
we don't, and our mayors don't even have any constituents. They're only supposed to be facilitating the meetings with the councillors. They don't run like the prime minister runs in a party in a riding, but they do in the provincial, but not in municipal. And there's no parties in the municipal. You can't even have one if you want.
So when I moved to Montreal, my plan was, well, Justin Trudeau has Papineau as his riding. Okay, I was thinking if he's untouchable as a prime minister, how about as an MP, right?
Yeah.
Is he a good MP, right? Does he represent his community before he can represent the whole country?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's a side story. My question is more about Toronto. Is John Tory going to be reelected this?
Well,
No, who knows? I've heard 8 people are running this year.
yeah.
But I mean, they also have Dominion voting machines.
Yeah,
as far as
that's
I
what I
know.
was just thinking. Yeah.
I don't know. Only 8? Oh, I'm sure there's a lot more. I'm sure there's a lot more. I mean, this is the thing with John Tory too. He's an old boy from the rich part of town, as in old money, and that tends to be the people who win these things, right?
Yeah.
Unless you're Doug Ford and you do whatever you got to do to get that position. I mean, whatever he's done, he did something.
Kill his brother.
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
There's
something
rumors
happened.
about that anyway. I'm not saying that I have the knowledge, but that's what I've.
No, did not get case law from Bayetta, but I would love to see it. Yeah, so I think the mayor, for me, I think the mayor seats are the tougher ones as well. But the city council seats, again, like when it comes to like building the community, it's like your area. So however many.
You can get in if you have enough money for signs, because all you have to do
Yeah.
is put up a website, get a team, and even if you don't start off with a lot of people, as you start to go door to door, more people join you. So if you had a group of, I don't know, maybe if you could get it up to 20, that would let you go door to door 2 or 3 times before the election, and that's enough to get you in. You don't need the media, because there's very little media coverage for counselors anyway. You don't need the media. It's the one-on-one interaction at the door that's going to get you in. And you have to have signs. I hate it, but you do have to have signs, or people won't vote for you.
And I think those signs are important because, like, when people, like, when you're going to vote, most of us don't pay attention, and we're going to look for a familiarity, right?
Yeah.
So if your face is, and especially now when unless they're really far gone into the left side of the world, the handicapped side of the world, bless their hearts, everybody has a problem with something right now, whether it's businesses, whether it's their community because of the drugs and the homelessness, whatever it is, right? Somebody has a beef about something right now. And so it's a really good opportunity to start knocking on doors and asking people, hey man, like I'm running for city councilor, like what's what are some concerns? You do some information gathering, you pick out the top 3 problems and you start campaigning on those. Like,
Yeah.
And then just knocking on doors, because nobody does that anymore. Or even handing out flyers, whatever it is, just get your face out there, because everyone's gotten lazy and they don't actually campaign at these lower levels positions, but everybody's ready for change.
Yeah.
So the opportunity is ripe.
So I saw a comment here saying, what was my point? I mean, what's the point of a counselor, right? For me, the point of a counselor is to represent the community at a basic level. Like you said, knock on doors, get to know people. But how about, can I share an anecdote? Can I do that?
Sure.
Okay. So I met a counselor. So my hero is Hazel McCallum. Okay. For me, the way her vision for what a suburb should be is the right thing to do. Okay. So, and that became the template for the other suburbs like Brampton, etc. However, I met a counselor at a Christmas. It was kind of like a Christmas fest, but that was in Brampton, and I'll tell you why that was in Brampton after. And so I just approached his booth, and he said, "Yes, I'm showing this exposition for a monument that we're trying to build in Mississauga, Cooksville." So he was selling his book. I bought it, and I was asking him, well, what's your story? He's like, yeah, I ran for city council for 20 years, and I'm trying to raise money for this monument. So I asked him, well, are you good friends with Hazel McCallum? Because for me, I was naive, thinking if you spent 20 years in council, you must be good friends with the boss, the big boss. And he very bluntly said, no, I wouldn't say so. And that's where my ears perked up, and I asked, well, how can you keep your seat for 20 years if you don't get along with the mayor? By the way, that was a date. So I went to the Christmas how do you say this, festival or showcase or fair.
An event of some kind.
Yes. And then so I was being very naive, asking all these questions, and he said, well, the reason why I stayed 20 years in council is because I was representing my ward, not so much representing the mayor or
You're
what
not.
she.
You're not representing the mayor at all. You are
Right.
representing your ward, and it's like take care of your own backyard first. And we live in this world where we're not doing that anymore. We're so focused on looking at Trudeau and the premiers that we're no longer looking at what's happening in our own yard. And this is how we solve this, or I should say, this is one of the solutions.
Right. So he told me his story, and then I kind of kept pressing. I was like, he kind of instantly gained my respect, because even though I showed that I was a big fan of his Italian, he had the bravery to say, hey, no, I'm not necessarily a friend of his Italian. So I kept asking questions. Well, how about you? I mean, what was your claim to fame, or what was your family history? And he told me how he owned a lot of land in Cooksville, etc. How he sold his land to Pearson Airport. I bought both of his books. I was like, you know what? This guy's genuine. So I'm like, yeah, I bought both of his books. I also met his Italian.
Nadim, do you have a question for us, honey? We got lots of hands up.
I have. Okay. Do I have a chance? Okay. Let's say I ran for council.
Yes.
Do I have a chance?
Yes, of course you do. We all have a chance. Like I said, listen, everybody's pissed off about something. Everybody wants to change. You go in there, you figure out what you want, figure out what's important to you, go out and start talking to people, ask questions, find the top 3 problems that make sense for you and start working on them. This is going to be my thing. All right? Go check out. I'll put it in the chat for you. And everyone's saying, run, do it. Just do it. Nothing. If you don't win, you don't win. But if you don't try, you definitely won't win, right? So go for it. I'm going to put a link in the chat for you for the Zoom that we did for doing for hashtag Take Back Your City. And there's a lady in there, Gada Malek. Have a listen, and her contact information is in the comments. And listen, go for it. And why don't you go think about your platform, think about what you want to do and how you want to position it, and you're ready. You come back on a Friday night Zoom and you give us your elevator pitch. What do you think of that?
Okay, I'll work on my elevator pitch.
All right, that's awesome. Thanks, Nadim. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
All right, so Living Soul is going to go up next. She couldn't put her hand back up. Living Soul, you there? Let's try this again. Living Soul. Nope, we can't hear her. Kimberly, hi. Sorry, Living Soul. See you later, Bonita.
Okay, I'm going to try to do this fast. I've been thinking.
That's impossible for you, Kimberly.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My mind's been going like spinning. The first of all is the application that you sent me. It said that it was for probation. I have no idea how to fill that out.
Okay, maybe I grabbed the wrong one, because I looked at it and it said that there was different selections. So maybe there was something the way that downloaded, because there was like different selections.
Yeah, it was all about probation.
Okay, let me have a look at it. Yeah, thanks, Jane.
Because it didn't look anything to what Dave sent me, but the one that Dave sent me was Ontario's, and I can't use that here, obviously, right?
No, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, and I have no idea how I'm supposed to fill it out. The other thing is that just thinking about all this stuff on my motion to dismiss, because of what happened on Monday, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that came up, like the judge not being partial, the prosecutor, because I listened to it again, the prosecutor was saying about, because I wanted the video of the time I went into Save-On to the time I left in my car. And he's going, well, that's not relevant. Well, it might not be relevant to you, but it's relevant to me. So he says, well, we can't ask for that because it's a third party. And then because he lied, because then he says, oh, well, then I'm the third party.
Well,
but he didn't want me to have any of that information.
No. Yeah,
well,
the other
that's also but I'm thinking that's also going against, that's also not treating me equally under the law, because that's part of my defense.
well, it's you have a right to a full defense, and there's an application you can make when they're denying you that. It's a Stitscombe. I talked about that with Rebecca the other day. We can do that as well. That's an
Yeah.
additional thing to what we've been discussing so far.
Okay. It's because he doesn't think it's relevant. It's like that. It doesn't matter. So he's making decisions. Well, you're the prosecutor.
Yeah.
You
Well,
might not
listen,
find it relevant, but I do, right?
Kimberly, you got to understand that they got nothing. So now they're just shitting their pants. That's what's going on. They're shitting their pants. So that was just a bullshit game. Just a bullshit game. And you're going to put together your motion and you're going to send it in and you're going to call them out. And this time it's going to be in writing. And you're going to take it from there.
Okay, I found the right form. I'll send it to you.
Thanks, Jane.
What's yours, Kimberly? What's your email?
Oh gosh, one second.
Rebecca has it.
1 second.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Living Soul. Okay, so Living Soul. Is your hand up, Living Soul? Yeah. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So I don't have a house in Toronto, buddy. So nice try.
Okay, I'm sending it to you then, Rebecca.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
So what we're doing right now is we are, okay, Living Soul, your hand's up. Okay, great. We are talking about, Kimberly had court on Monday for a criminal charge, and she had bad representation with a lawyer, and that lawyer has now, she's fired them. Hold on 1 second. So Living Soul, is your hand up? Can you tell me yes or no? And can you just maybe even flash your video, because I got to remove someone right now. I don't want to remove the wrong person. Living Soul with your hand up. Can you just flash your video super quick? Because I'm going to remove someone. I don't want to remove you. And if somebody doesn't identify themselves, I'm removing both. Like, I'm not going to continue with this bullshit with this person. Okay, well, I'm taking a risk, and I'm sorry if it's the wrong person. I hope I didn't kick out the wrong person. Okay, shit. And I did. Fucking assholes. Sorry. Little dickheads. I kicked out the wrong. But I mean, I'll just get rid of them right now too, so that'll be a problem solver. There you go. All right. Sorry, Raquel. Anyway. Okay, so Kimberly, we'll get you sorted out. I'll send you the proper form. I'll send it to you. If you have questions, you give me a shout and we'll work through it.
There was also, I figured it out. Because I watched a previous video that you guys did, they have 30 months to be able to do it. That's why they didn't want me to talk. They didn't want me to be able to say anything. Because again, they did the same thing that they did to me the first time. I wasn't allowed to ask for more time because I don't have the witness list. And he had the witness list, but why didn't he tell me who the witnesses were going to be? It's
because he's a jerk. He's a jerk. They're just trying to mess you up.
Yeah. Okay. There was just a whole bunch of stuff that came up that I've been thinking about.
He's been ordered now to give it to you, so that'll be another ground for dismissal if he doesn't give it to you.
Yeah, but he's
been ordered.
doing it through snail mail.
But he may not be doing it at all.
Exactly.
Say, Kimberly may not have it. They might have said no.
Oh.
Yeah, Kimberly, you got to understand, you're getting caught up in a game.
I know.
So you know what? We're going to get the form done. You're going to submit it and just stay chill. You got them by the balls.
On the run.
They don't have you.
You got them on the run.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Big time.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Breathe.
I'm trying.
You'll be great.
One thing you can. Kimberly,
yeah, well, yeah, you did.
Kimberly, over here. Look at me. You got this. You got this. We'll get the form submitted, and you watch. They're probably going to be like, okay, no chance of conviction.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Because
We got
I'm
your-
going to walk that sucker down into court.
We got your back. You
I'm just wondering, like, how long? I'm not saying it right.
Let's get it in ASAP. How's
And
that?
it's pretty
Thank you.
much what you were trying to say just gets written in. You know what I mean? Like what
Right.
you were trying to say. And even
Right,
if
but
you did
there's so
get it
many
out,
other, but there's so many other things that they did this time even more
well, you can say
about infringing my rights.
how many
stuff,
days
right?
has it been? Like snail mail is 5 days, right? It was Monday.
No, not here in BC. So what happens is when they mail something, it's even in the same town, all the mail, especially on the island, all the mail goes to Vancouver and then it has to come back. It takes at least 2 weeks. 2
Holy
weeks.
shit.
And
Mm.
that's why I didn't understand. Why in the hell is he doing this?
Because it's full of crap.
Because
he
they
doesn't
know they
have
only
any-
got to
crap.
30 months, right?
But he's wasting time.
Yes, he's full of crap.
Yeah.
So
The
then I
guy's
don't
full of
have a
crap.
defense.
Well, he can't convict you then.
Guys,
Okay. All right. I'll stop wasting your time. Okay.
No, it's not a waste of time, but it's just perspective. Like it's like when he takes away your capacity to defend, then they have to drop the charges.
Okay.
They
'Cause
can't
he's-
have their cake. They can't have their cake and eat it too. They can have
Because
the
they
cake.
wasted
Yeah.
wasted so much time. Now I can't get the videos. I can't get there's also because I know what it was, the protocol, and the protocol for the save on was just, oh, we're asking people just to try to keep distance. There was no absolute protocol. Because I read it.
Yeah.
I just can't find it now.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't want me to have that either.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But they need to have something like that to show that it was an actual policy and not just doing it off the top of their head.
Yeah.
They should have to produce that, not you.
Well, I wanted it to prove that they had no reason to come after me in the first place.
you're
Yeah.
going to get that.
Right?
You already did it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got to understand. You've already did
Yeah,
it.
you
Okay.
shut them right up when you said, "Hey,
Yeah.
this lawyer and the Crown didn't even look at my video." They didn't know what to say, eh? Like the
Yeah.
judge was always being so smarty before that. All of a sudden, she didn't know what to say.
Yeah, and then they cut me off.
Yeah.
They made me hang up. They hung up on me.
Yeah.
That's a sign that you're winning.
Yeah.
When people get yelly and defensive, that you just go, okay, say it some more. Let's hear some more. I'm like, you know what? I sit back and be like, let me hear it all, please.
Okay. I'll try to chill.
You'll
Okay.
get to enjoy it, Kimberly, like Rebecca does. She actually enjoys it.
Can I also go after them for damages?
Yes.
Okay.
Court costs too, right?
Yeah.
Court costs. I don't have
All
any
time
court
you spend.
costs.
Well, all your time fucking around.
Right. Okay.
It's worth
And-
money. Time is money.
And torture.
Yeah. That's torturous.
Okay. All right. We'll talk later. I'll
Okay.
let everybody else
Okay,
go.
yep.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Kimberly. Okay, Ron?
Hi, it's actually Jan using Ron's. I came in late.
Hi, Jan.
Hi, how are you doing? Listen, just
Good,
a
how are
quick
you?
question. Thank you. I think we've got a situation with, does Jane have any expertise in family law specific to estates? And if so, I would be interested in
Oh,
talking.
God.
No.
No?
I had to deal with my father's estate,
Uh-huh.
and he didn't have a will, and I had a dueling 5 siblings, and one was being an absolute monster.
Okay.
So I have very limited knowledge, very limited. You could ask me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, mine's pretty simple. My dad didn't leave a heck of a lot of money, but they're trying to tell me right now that they have to observe when I open up his contents of his safety deposit box. They're saying it's policy, but yet when my dad, when you put stuff in a safety deposit box, they don't watch what you put in there. So now they're trying to say that.
Well, the thing is that the tax man gets the taxes first. You know that, right? When somebody dies, They get the money first. So what they want to see is because you don't have to do the content. It's so disgusting. It's the most vile thing of counting the value of everything that somebody owns when they die. Honestly, it's just, and you have, anyway. So what, this is why don't you ask the bank to tell them to quote the act. Ask them to tell you what act authorizes them to do that, and then we can look at the act. So say, listen, okay, I understand the government's asked you to do this. Can you please tell me the act that authorizes you to do it? And I'll read through it, and then if I have questions, I'll let you know. Because they can't just, there has to be something that's giving them a provision to do it. So my father didn't have anything like that. So I didn't have to go through that. So that's what I would do. If it's the bank that's insisting, which it sounds like it is, go back and ask for oh, please don't start with the rescind. Please, no. Go and ask the bank if they can just give you the act. Just say, listen, I just need to know what the act is. Can you please just quote it for me, and I'll get back to you guys. And then you've got my contact information, right?
I do. Yeah. So basically I did say that to them this evening, and she said it was their policy. I said, well, policy is not a law or an act.
No, that's right. That's right. That's right. So that was good for you. Great question. And are you talking to the branch manager, or is this just
the branch manager is so not my friend right now, because I called her on accountability, because from the get-go, they've mismanaged, they've screwed up. Like, do not deal with Scotiabank ever.
Oh, please. Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. Yeah. So if she can't quote an act, then it's your policy. Well, they're never supposed to see what's that safety deposit box is now owned by you. You're the executor, I'm assuming. Yeah, you're the executor of the estate.
I'm the executrix of the estate and of his estate, and he left hardly any money behind. And long story short, there is some jewelry in the cost. Well, we don't even know jewelry. And what else? So they're trying to insist that they have to observe me opening it. And I said, well, I don't think so, because everything was left to me, and I'm the executrix of the estate. And I said, if you're quoting policy, that's not a law or an act. I didn't. And I said, so I'm going to seek legal advice, because I don't agree. I think you guys are wrong on this. And I left it at that.
I was corrected. It is the estate that owns it, but you're acting on behalf of the estate, not the bank.
Right. That's what I said. That's exactly what I said.
And if that's the case, like, great, you want to take over all responsibilities? I'll sit over here. It's not a good job to have.
Yeah. No. Okay.
Well, not everyone has a will, Brenda. Like, I was the executor of my dad's estate with no will. That was shit, but whatever. Okay,
well, my dad didn't really, yeah, I will. Because my dad didn't really have a proper will, but I got it notarized by a lawyer, paid money for it. So
my dad we didn't even know where my dad had bank accounts. It was
oh gosh. Anyway, enough about me. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Brenda, if you have any info, put it in the chat. I'm watching there. George, hi.
Hello, finally.
Hi.
Listen, my wife and I submitted those 2 travel NOLs this week, and both of them, and this is a correction you should make everybody aware of, page 3 has federal court in it, not small claims court of the NOL. So the question is, it's an easy change to make. Well, what's the next step in terms of the 5 days are up Monday?
Well, remember, this isn't a formal court document. Remember that, right?
Okay.
And it has been updated. So this NOL is not a formal court document. So what you're going to do now is you're going to serve the court documents. So you're going to go and you're going to serve. So if you go, you're going to serve the statement of claim.
Yes.
And you're going to fill that out, and you're going to take the meat and potatoes from the NOL. So you're going to take the basically, you're going to take pretty much all of the NOL, but you're not going to take the offer to rectify, and you're not going to take the rectification, because you're acting on it now.
Mm-hmm.
So So while it's unfortunate that that was in there, it's not going to impact your claim because you're not serving the NOL as your claim in the court. You're going to use a court document.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Make sense?
I hope so.
Yeah,
Anyway.
no,
Yeah.
that's correct. That's correct. All it is a warning that there's liability. If you did, if the wrong court is indicated, I don't know who put that in there, but it is small claims. Even if it's federal, it still goes small claims if it's under 35,000.
True enough, and there's also the issue of so I don't have to change the NOL and resubmit it or anything.
No.
Go that route.
No.
Given the recent change that that came about with the travel restrictions, are there any changes to this NOL at all? Or I think you've already covered.
The harm has already occurred in the past, right? When your travel was restricted, so there's no change in that. Like you can't, if it's not restricted now, you can't sue them for what's going on now, but you can sue them up to 2 years after they did what they did.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks for flagging
so
that. And it's been correct. It was corrected, but probably after you had started it. So guys, don't stress too much. If there's like a typo or something in your NOL, don't stress too much because they're going to put it all into a formal court document.
So really the next step then is submit the statement of claim.
Yep.
And then wait the 20 days or so, see whether they. When you say the offer to rectify though, what?
So in the NOL, there was the there was the offer to rectify where you're like, if you knock it off in 5 days, I'll leave you alone.
Yeah.
So that you don't need to include that in the statement of claim because you're no longer, the rectification is over.
Oh, okay. So you just don't worry about that. There's no rectification. The 5 days are gone. You're not, it's not that you're threatening them, but you don't need to say, I'm going to do this, or, if you're just going to say, here it is, you did all these things, here's the legal provisions, and here's what I'm asking the court to do. Okay? Okay.
All right.
Well, I'll give it a whirl.
All right. Let us know if you have questions.
Okay. Thanks now. Bye-bye.
Okay. You're welcome. Bye-bye. Christina, yes, we called you a few times and there was no answer. You may have been taking a washroom break.
Okay. Sorry. No,
Hi.
I was here. I just wanted to ask you something. My daughter, she's going on a trip, right, for a camping trip. And I told the lady, like, I didn't want her to wear a mask, and she got exempted for that because they were saying, like, to go on the bus, she would need a mask. But now she's telling me that to go on the trip, all the kids that are going on the trip needs to take a rapid test or that. The test of the COVID thing, right? Because it says, everybody's going to be in close contact.
So what? What's your point?
To take the test. So I told her no, right? I don't want her to take the test.
Yeah.
And then she said, okay, well, the director of whatever is away for training. She'll contact her to see what she's saying, right? But what script could I kind of tell her as, like, she's not taking the test and this, if you don't allow her to go on the trip, I'm doing this, or you are, like, what could I tell her to say, like, hey,
you know what? Actually, I think Scott's mask NOL might be a good one to use, but just to modify it because it worked for him.
Okay,
but hold on. Oh, wait 1 second here.
Right.
Wait 1 second. First of all, she has no legal provisions. Here's a question. I'm going to tell you something, and I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Yes, Bill S-201, genetic discrimination, non-genetic discrimination. Number two, well, a rapid test that's a bit of a battle. It is genetics, but it's a bit of a battle. But here's the thing. What medical credentials does she have to requisition a diagnostics tool? You have to be licensed to do diagnostics in Ontario and pretty much any other province. and a rapid screen test is diagnostics. And she has no legal provision to back her up. She's doing it on her own volition, and she has no authority to practice medical care. As a matter of fact, it's illegal.
Right.
And remember, there is no legal provision that says she can do this. Before, people were hiding behind the Reopen Ontario Act, the directive number 6, directive number whatever, but she's making this up on her own. So I would suggest you ask her what medical credentials that she has that authorizes her legally to requisition and diagnostics.
Okay, what medical provisions?
Yes.
Medical provisions, what?
No, medical credentials.
What medical?
Credentials, qualifications, qualifications.
Okay,
Yeah.
qualifications.
Guys, whoever's private messaging me, asking me to share emails, I'm not going to share emails with anybody. I'm not going to share private emails with each other. So, Mr. and Mrs. Troll, thank you.
Sure, Rebecca. So, what medical qualifications?
What medical qualifications legally authorize you to requisition a diagnostics? And then start with that, and then you can, if you go on, this is let's see here.
Right.
That's the big one, and then there's a rights violation, informed consent. Oh, here you go, Section 11, the Healthcare Consent Act.
Sorry, Section.
I mumbled that a little bit.
Section 11. Health.
Sorry, a Healthcare Consent Act. I'll post it in the chat. Okay, hold on 1 second. I'll pull it up for you. So the Healthcare Consent Act, Ontario, Section 11 stipulates consent, and as consent has to, like, you have to agree to it.
Right.
You can't just be like, here, take this. I'm going to make you do this test so you can go on a field trip. No. Who do you think you are?
Right. Yeah, that's what I was saying to her. I told her at first, I'm not comfortable with doing the test. Like, no, I'm not taking the test.
Friggin' test is dangerous too. The one that goes in the nose is dangerous.
Yeah. Here, just 1 second. I'm just copying it for you. I'm going to put it in the chat. Okay, there you go. Whoops. There you go.
Oh, where is it? I don't see it. Oh, okay.
In the chat?
You.
Yeah.
Oh, right here. This. How do could I copy this? How do I?
Yeah, you should be able to copy and paste it.
Sorry, I'm having trouble with my computer and the cursor. Is there a way that you could email this, or could I?
Sure. Actually, it's on Stand4Thee. It's on Know Your Rights.
Stand4Thee under what section? If I look.
I'm going to post it. I'm going to post it in here. Okay, 1 second here. Okay. Under Know Your Rights, and I apologize because the trolls are back. So I apologize for all of the stuff that you're seeing in the chats.
Okay.
Yeah, the trolls. It's so, you know what I find really interesting about these trolls is that if their rights are being infringed on and they don't understand that. But you know, if they had lost their jobs and their loved ones died alone in the hospital or whatever the situation might be, they would want us to fight for them too. That's the sad part about it. That's the really sad part about it. And trolls, I hope that you can like look in the mirror and have a conversation with yourself. So anyway, okay, so Christina, have a look through there on Know Your Rights. If you scroll down, you'll see the section Healthcare Consent Act. You can just do a Control F and search for it. that all the information is there for you. And if you have any issues, you can message me. I'll put my email in the chat in just a second here. Yes, Kimberly, exactly. These people have no idea what people have been through in the past 2 years, and they think it's funny to come on here and mock people who have had unbelievable issues over the past 2 years. And that's the sad part about it. And they think that we're the bad people. And you know what? Never in my life have I ever thought, like, God is watching you. God is watching all of you. And you people that come here every Friday, there are people in here who had loved ones die alone in the hospital because they were improperly treated. They were held hostage in the hospital and died. So you keep coming on here and showing everyone who you are. And I'm going to say it again. God is watching your every move, and you will be judged. You will be judged.
Yeah, lost their lives, lost their livelihoods, lost their housing, and counting. And I think there's a very high level of victims.
Yeah. Oh, I can't even imagine. Think of what we know, Jane.
Yeah.
Think of all the stories that we've had.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then these people have nothing better to do on a Friday night. It's kind of sad. They don't even have friends to go enjoy life.
Yeah.
You know, like you could go enjoy life. It's the summertime, but they choose to make themselves suffer even more, listening to things they don't agree with.
Yeah.
They're further victimizing themselves.
You know,
Okay,
I
Christina,
was
you've
just
got
gonna
my email.
ask, like, say if I go through that script and still she doesn't get it, what's the next step?
Well, if you, I would just be like, if you do this, I would tell her you're going to press criminal charges for assaulting your daughter, attempting to assault your daughter. Honestly, you need to be tough.
Yeah.
You need to be really tough.
Okay, yeah, because I'm kind of getting pissed off on this. I was okay with it, and I said she wasn't able to attend the other in-persons because she wasn't wearing a mask, so I just kept her online, but now I'm kind of pissed off.
Yeah.
You should be pissed off.
Yeah.
And I have another question for you too. Back in 2020, December 2020, I got a ticket for trespassing. Is that ticket going to be thrown out, or should I just like
Did you submit it for trial?
Well, I did. I submitted the ticket. Like I said, I wanted to go to trial. I'm not going to pay for it, but I never got a response.
Why don't you call the court and ask them? So call or email the court, the POA court in your city, wherever the ticket was issued. Ask them ask them for the status. They'll tell you, like, I called and they said there was no court date.
So just make sure you leave sleeping dogs lie.
Well, so she's over the time period, Jane. It's like a year.
That's what I mean. Well, wait till 18 months and then just like.
Well, she's got 6 months under section 76 bracket 1. Because the only thing I would be concerned about with the post office, because there's been a lot of problems, is did she miss something in the mail? But if you think she should just let it go, then
well, she would have known it was convicted. No,
I don't know.
Oh yeah, I suppose you could find out.
Yeah, because that's what I did. I called about my quarantine, and they said there's no court date set, and I was like, all right, it's been 9 months.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so just call to see what the status is, and then they'll let me know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll tell you. You need to have your offense number. So call POA office or email them, give them your offense number, and just ask for the status.
Because I don't know, I got the ticket. So where on the ticket does it have that information?
Top right corner.
Oh, of the ticket, it has that.
Of the ticket.
Should have a number. Yeah. Ticket number.
Oh, it should have a number. Okay,
yeah.
I'm going to check it out. Thanks for giving me that advice.
You're welcome, and you've got my email, so if you need anything, you let me know, okay?
Thank you very much for your assistance. That's great.
You're welcome.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you.
Good night.
Sachi, exactly. It's all under the colleges, the boards, and under provincial legislation, 100%. And again, because I'm a nutritionist, we just, there's rules in every province. Some are, they're all different, but I know in Ontario that you have to be under certain licenses to do diagnostics or even to requisition a diagnostics. Sybil, hi. And guys, I got to cut this off soon. My husband actually made dinner a little bit early, and now it's gonna get cold.
Hi there.
How are you?
It's Kathleen, actually. I wasn't able to
yes.
change my name today. I don't know.
No, I've changed it so that people can't change their names because people are coming in and changing names.
Okay.
And being jerks.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So I got a appeal on Monday, and I'm sorry I'm asking questions that you guys have explained over and over many times, but like when push comes to shove, I'm like trying to wrap my head around it. And I'm like, I don't really understand it. So I'm sorry if I'm asking stupid questions, but you've explained over and over in a whole bunch of Zooms this issue about how provincial police is actually under
Section 25 of the criminal code.
I've got it right here, and it says protection of persons. So basically it's just saying, why does that say that they have to act in compliance with the Bill of Rights or anything like that?
What it says is that they have to use reasonable force, and that means they're regulated under there. See at the bottom of it?
Okay, it's 25.1.
15, 25, yeah.
Okay, so section 25.1. Is that? I mean, it starts with protection of persons administered.
This meeting is being recorded.
When they're enforcing the law,
Reasonable.
So that
grounds.
means, so that means everything in that list. So police officers, bylaw officers, private citizens, whoever is enforcing law, using force, whoever's using force, okay, is regulated by the criminal code, which means the use of force is a federal jurisdiction.
Okay, so can I use that only in an okay?
Bill of Rights. Bill of Rights is used for all federal jurisdiction.
Okay.
So when you're using force, you have it's not airy-fairy. It's very clear. If you read the Bill of Rights, it says it applies to all federal matters. So the criminal code is a federal piece of legislation that covers use of force. So it's a federal matter. So all federal matters.
Read the blog that I just shared in the post. And I think sometimes when you read it in context, it'll make more sense.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Okay. And read through that blog post.
All
I think
right.
it'll help.
Fair enough. Thank
you.
you.
If you're looking for it to say in the criminal code that the Bill of Rights applies, it's not going to, you're not going to find that.
I understand.
Because it says in the Bill of Rights, it applies to all federal matters. So the criminal code is a federal matter.
Okay. And okay, I have one more question about legal language, and I'm referring here to the Quebec Charter of Human Rights. And there's one section 52 that says no provision of any act may derogate from section such and such unless such act expressly states that it applies despite the charter. So that's but the Cabell's Act doesn't how is expressly to be interpreted?
In writing, that's what it means.
Okay, because the Quebec Health Act does have a notwithstanding clause, but it just says any provision to the contrary, like any. Is that expressly any?
Does it say? That's half a sentence.
That particular section where with the curfew and all that, or like it starts with notwithstanding any provision to the contrary.
No, you're not, that's a half a sentence, dear.
I'm
I
sorry.
can't respond to
Okay.
that.
All right, then it's going to take me like 2 seconds to, I've got it all bookmarked. Give me just 2 seconds, please. Quebec Public Health Act. Public Health here, Public Health Act. Here it is. Okay, here it is. Notwithstanding any provision to the contrary, comma, while the public health emergency is in effect, the government or the minister, comma, if he or she has been so empowered, may, without delay and without further formality, to protect the health of the population. And then it lists a whole bunch of things. And number 8 is the one I was charged with, because that says order any other measure.
First of all, okay, when you were charged, it was a state of emergency, was it?
Good question. If the federal state of emergency was in effect
there was
at the
never,
time?
there was
No.
never a federal. It was
No,
never
no.
a federal.
Right, but no, I don't think there was in Quebec either.
Okay, so you need to look that up. You're going to have to go and look to see if there was, like, were you in a state of emergency? Because at one point, every province was in a state of emergency. So you need to know in that time frame if you were under a state of emergency.
Okay.
And I'm not really sure, unless you haven't read the whole thing, it's still not clear, notwithstanding any other legislation.
Yeah,
They
they're giving themselves like carte blanche for, the entire universe, the entire, like, the eternity. And, that's how.
Well, then, actually, then what you would do is use the Bill of Rights, which of the charter, to see if it says that they can't violate it. I think there is a section. I think, Steve, I don't know the Quebec charter at all, and I'm licensed in Ontario. So, but you might want to look in the charter and see, like, the Bill of Rights says they can't do that. So they can't just make seriously, they can't make another law that says that they're going to override the Bill of Rights.
Mm-hmm. Right, no. but the Bill of Rights,
especially friggin' bylaws, all of this shit that they've been doing are bylaws.
But the
they can't pass the bylaw.
Right, but the Bill of Rights applies only to acts of Parliament, federal.
No, we just covered this. The Criminal Code of Canada, Section 25. The Bill of Rights applies to federal matters.
So use of force is federal matter.
Yeah, and yeah. So please read through the article that Jane shared. You have to. You can't overturn. You got to relax a little bit. Yeah. Just relax a little bit when you're reading this stuff, and just give yourself, read through it. Maybe go for a chill out, have a coffee or something, and then let it absorb, and then come back to it. Because I sense a lot of frustration here, and sometimes the acts are pretty literal.
Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna hook her up with Steve. Does she know Steve?
Yes.
Oh, we're constantly in touch.
Okay.
We're in touch all the time.
You need to find out then what's in the Quebec Bill of Rights that would.
Hey guys, I'm done.